Morning. It's been a long time since I did a fauna update, so I thought I'd do a quick walk around the property and show the progress for those who are interested. Um, Here, these bushes here are called Chinese malunggay. Now, malunggay is a vegetable, or rather a tree that the leaves are used as a vegetable in many common dishes. And this is a variety called Chinese malunggay, which most don't use, which can be substituted or used for other cooking dishes. But going into too much detail on that would require an entire different clip to explain. This is a newer addition, the name of which I've forgotten. At least is added in, but it's supposed to have edible fruit. These white plants here are called snowbush. They add a nice contrast in different areas. When they're in the shade, they remain green, but when they're in the sunlight, the leaves turn white, and they last for quite a long time before you have to trim them back or plant new ones. This hillside is slowly being transformed. The darker, more colorful plants are mainly to help against erosion, and everything in there of lighter color is edible. And we use different types of vegetables like green onions and bell peppers, and these are called kangkong. The leaves are used in different dishes. So you got more of these. I had a nice big cerisa tree here, and it died in a storm. It got killed, knocked over about 6 months ago. So I've planted this one as a replacement. We'll see how long it takes to grow. I imagine it'll have berries next year. Mostly the berries of it are considered to be for children only. And for the uninitiated, these are all over the country, but the berries taste, if you could take Cap'n Crunch berries from the cereal in the US and make them a real berry, that's about what they taste like. Here's one of the varieties of avocado I've got coming in. This is my fig tree. It's healthy and growing just slowly. All of these trees in pots along here, these are all being staged. When the landscaping and the terracing is done on the upper terraces, most of those will get relocated to new homes there. We're just getting them as big as we can before we move them on up there. Also make sure we've got healthy trees. Here's the miracle berries. Got some fruit right now. Some ideas on what I'm going to do with those, and we're making more seedlings. These miracle berries make things change flavor as you eat them. I have another clip on my page that explains more about that. The kaffir lime's doing very well. Different varieties. You got Rangoon creeper. This one with the vine with the yellow flowers. I always forget the name of that one. That's one of Lisa's favorites. Then back in here, this was kind of a mistake that I'm going to turn into an asset, but this tree with the large broad leaves here is called ilong ilong, and it is used internationally to make perfume. The flowers, when they come out, it has flowers year round, and anywhere around that tree when it starts flowering is going to be very aromatic. I was going to put that in a different spot, but I wasn't paying attention, and the roots went through the pot, destroyed the pot, and it's decided that is home. So I'm going to leave it there, but I may get another one later to plant in another location as well. So it made the decision for me. Here's a new ground cover we're working on. It stays that height and grows out, expands. Nice light green. I don't remember what that one is. This is there's so many different fruit trees here. This is pomegranate, And you can see here, we have our first pomegranate fruit coming in. It should be, I'm not sure how long they take to ripen on the tree. I would guess at least a couple more weeks. But that's our first pomegranate fruit. This is Macopa, which is similar in taste and texture to an apple when it bears fruit. Here's a Tumbus, different varieties of that. They taste good, they're not my favorite. Here's a grapefruit tree. We have a number of mandarin orange trees. Here they go by a different name. A couple different varieties of mango, which turns out are not good for this property. Mango trees have a tendency to, their roots go out, and they do well in flat areas where the roots can go out and support them. But on a hill like this, once they got big, they just fall down, and that wouldn't end well. You can see here my vines are coming in. I can't wait until that starts flowering again. It's gonna be pretty amazing when it does. I'll do a different video on that all together. These flowers here are doing, just got quite the variety going. This is a baby coral tree. That'll be pretty amazing when it's done. It has very vibrant red flowers that bloom pretty much year round. So you can see here our Lanzone trees are really coming in. We've got this variety of papaya from a friend named James and Jensen. Shout out to James for all the cool plants and ideas he gives us. But these are of a different type of papaya that are very sweet and just, different variety. The local papaya is also very good, but it's nice to have some variety. These are in the insulin family. But unlike the common insulin plant that people eat the leaves for, or that is used to produce insulin, this variety produces these really beautiful little flowers year-round. And the cool thing about the flowers is not only are they edible, but they taste really nice. A little bit sweet, a little bit tart, and just an amazing garnish for any kinds of dish. Here. So I'm going to finish the interior of the house in the next few months, and when that's done, we'll start doing more terracing and building steps and things out here. Make this a little easier to get around and maintain and look better. I need to do some work on my passion fruit here. It's still very healthy, but I got to trim some of the dead growth out. Probably do that this week. See, it's still producing passion fruit, just nothing ripe at the moment. So I know I've mentioned this before, but this type of vine is in the same family as the jade vine. The jade vine is one of the national vines of the Philippines, and the actual jade colored one is what is featured on the back side of the new 5 peso Philippine coin. This is the exact same family, exact same looks, except instead of being jade in color, it's a really nice bright red orange. You can see the calamansi, or local lime tree, is as healthy as ever. Actually, it's just about ready for a harvest. I got plenty of little limes in here. Hi Ellen, that's the bell you sent me. It's starting to get some shade from the vine now. It's growing in. Might expand this peanut grass. I really like it. It has flowers year round, especially in the morning when they're blooming. It's a really nice ground cover and easy to maintain. This plant Lisa got, and she's growing it, and it was given to her, I think. We don't know what it is. We're told it might be mustard. And if it's mustard, I can use the leaves from that for different dishes. So I need to make sure of that before I do that, but looks like that might be a new option soon. So we've taken and we got rid of, there was a type of tree up here called Gemelina, and also one mahogany. And both Gemelina and mahogany are really, really bad. The mahogany is a good hardwood, but they take forever, and quite frankly, I don't want to stick around to harvest one mahogany tree. And the Gemelina is a okay hardwood, but it's now been banned in the Philippines because nothing can grow under it, and it's highly invasive. It just takes over everything, and it uses a lot. It just eats up the groundwater, which is no good. So we just got rid of them, and we planted bananas in their place. And after we do the terracing and everything up here and put the fence in, we'll take those trees you saw on the front porch and transplant them up here and get a variety of different rare fruit trees. This is, geez, I have a hard time with this thing. This thing's almost died a couple times. This is a durian of a variety called Chani, which is a type of durian that just doesn't store well or transport well. So it doesn't get exported and nobody knows about it, but it's the best tasting, in my opinion. This is a rare golden jackfruit tree. It's about a little over a year old now. It's growing pretty quick. I imagine in a year or two we'll get fruit off of it. For those who don't know already, this is lemongrass, and we've got different bunches of lemongrass for cooking around the property. It just grows in bunches like that. You don't have to trim it. It just does that. Easy to maintain, easy to transplant, and convenient for cooking. This is our monkey pod tree, locally known as Kamonsil, and the fruit on it is semi-sweet. It looks like circular string bean bracelets with little pink colored beans or whatever inside that. Yeah, it's tasty. This is a nonus, which is very rare, hard to find. It's similar to a locally known fruit called atis. Atis in English is, what's the name of that? Custard apple. And this one, when it's ripe though, instead of being green, when it's ripe it'll be soft and pink. Let's see, we got whole bunches of them getting ready. Actually, I gotta harvest these next week. Got lots and lots of anonas coming in. This is one of Lisa's favorite guava trees, and actually it's got a nice harvest coming in too. Looks like this month we'll be getting a lot of guava. That's a good thing. This tree is the spirit tree of the Philippines, which I'm encouraging, and Lisa doesn't like much, but I'm going to put a blue vine in it called sky vine, and so it'll have nice hanging chains of blue flowers in it at some point. But as an experiment a while back, I don't fall and break my neck here, I planted bunch of orchids in it, and they really latched on. You can see where the roots are taking hold and attaching to the trees. So eventually I hope to have hanging blue flowers from the branches, and at the core hope to have numerous varieties of orchids in the tree. So, like I said, all these bananas are temporary. We'll start with the terracing here, and at some point we'll get all of this area landscape, terraced, flat, with stairs in between, and I'll run water up here, all that. I try not to, it rained heavy last night, try not to fall and break my neck here. This is the other version of Malunggay, and its leaves are used in a number of dishes. And they're even used, sometimes people are adding them to baking now. Malunggay leaves just have a lot of really healthy characteristics. I don't find them especially flavorful, but they're fine, and it's convenient to have them around. Different papaya trees. Here are some of the local versions we've got going. Lots of, actually we have no shortage of papaya these days. Coconut trees are starting to grow a bit. Now this tree down here is one that was given to me by my friend James and Jen's son. This is an endangered type of tree that isn't edible, doesn't have any fruit, but it does have beautiful flowers when it's blooming. This one hasn't bloomed, and you can see the leaves on the underside. They're like this, almost like a deep purple, and then on the top side this nice kind of velvety green. So when the wind comes through, they kind of, you know, shift in the wind, and the whole bush kind of goes purple green, purple green. It's nice. And of course the token hibiscus plants and other ornamentals, to include this version of a perfume bush. Now, this tree is another kind of rare tree. It's as big as it's going to get. It'll stay this size pretty much for its whole life. And it has white flowers. I don't know if you can see them there. And it also produces little berries that, while not edible for us, you can see the birds and the bees love them. But what I did was I decided I wanted to have some pink in there too. So I planted this pink vine, and I'm starting to get patches of it show up in the upper canopy. So when it has, and those are year round, so when the white flowers are blooming and the pink flowers are blooming, I'll have pink, white, and green, and it should be a nice contrast and bring a lot of birds and butterflies and bees. Now, almost at the end here, but these are very, very rare, hard to find plants. The first one here is a red durian, and a lot of people know of durian, and people have a love-hate relationship with durian. I'm on the love side, but this one's very rare in that normally when you open a durian fruit up, the fruit is yellow. This one, when you open it up, the fruit is red. So it'll be a few years before that's producing fruit, but I'm looking forward to that. And this one is even more rare. It's called a kadure. and it's across. Looks like somebody's at the gate. All right, come on up, Gung Gung. All right, I'm gonna have to end this here. One of the workers is here. I'll wrap up with bananas another time.